Good morning, everyone. My most asked question by far on YouTube, Facebook, and Reddit is how do you title a bus as a motorhome? And the reason why I haven't made a video about this until now is because I have not done this process until now. But now I have the information to share with you guys. Obviously, this process is going to vary state to state and country to country, so it's important to note that I live in the United States and I live in Wyoming. Looking at the process for other states and looking at some of the schooly life groups on Facebook, it looks like the process is pretty similar for most states. So here's how I did it personally up here in Wyoming. So my bus is titled as a bus in Colorado in my name, but because it's out of state, I had to get a VIN inspection. This was really easy. All I had to do was go to my local police department. They didn't charge me anything. They just took the title, they went out to the bus, looked at the VIN number, checked it on the windshield, checked it on the door, and they gave it the check mark and the signature. After that, I had to collect some information about my bus. I went over to the county clerk and recorder and just asked them for basically a list of every single thing that I need, and here's what they told me. So I had to email them 5 receipts showing that I purchased things to build a motorhome. So things like the air conditioner, the solar on top, this futon that I'm sitting on here, the wood, the countertop, things like that. I just took all those receipts, just gathered them together, sent them off to the county clerk and recorder. So they needed proof of running water, and I wasn't exactly sure what this meant, but my local county clerk and recorder, all she had me do was just basically send in receipts of the parts that I use for the water system, which is not a lot. I basically just have a sink and a hose at the moment, but that was enough for her, and she took that, scanned it in, and that was enough. She did say, though, that technically they can take just a statement saying that I do, in fact, have a water system in my bus. So depending on who you get and what kind of mood they're in that day, you might be able to just tell them that you have a water system. I'm not saying that you should do that, obviously, but they also required proof of electricity, which same kind of thing. I just sent them receipts of my solar panels and that was fine for them. So they also needed the build cost and the curb weight. And on the title, it's listed as like retail value or MSRP or something like that. And basically they just wanted to know what the value of your bus is if you basically were to sell it. And in my case, they came up with the number $33,000. So the build cost, she actually very graciously helped me out with that, and she helped me figure that one out. So they also needed a curb weight. This one was really easy. All I did was I took it to a CAT scale, and I just paid them the fee. It was $10 in my case, rolled up on the scale, and I just took that weight slip to the DMV. And it's funny because they didn't even ask to look at the slip. They just asked what the curb weight was. So I'm not even sure if you necessarily need to do that, but it would be a good idea just for your own understanding of your bus. It's actually funny, I had no idea how light my bus was before I weighed it. It's only 6,500 pounds and it's rated for 12,500. So I could tow quite a bit with this thing if I really wanted to, and honestly I might. The last thing you need before you can transfer your bus title to a motorhome title is motorhome insurance. Now again, my local county clerk and recorder, they didn't require any proof of insurance. They basically just had me sign a piece of paper that said, yep, it is motorhome insurance and it is absolutely not commercial insurance. So if your courthouse is the same way, where they don't require any proof, I would suggest that you really make sure that you have the right coverage. After my most recent car accident, which was about 1.5 years ago now, I realized that even small and moderate car accidents can get expensive really, really fast. In that accident, the person had to pay over $100,000 in damages, and that was to my car, that was to someone else's car, that was to a house that they hit as well. It was very expensive, and thankfully I wasn't the one that learned the hard lesson, but I learned a lesson in that situation. It's that insurance is extremely important, especially when you're driving a larger vehicle like this. Something like this can cause a lot of damage compared to a car, so you want to make sure you're covered, because if you get in a wreck and you have the wrong coverage or you don't have any coverage, it could for sure bankrupt you and ruin your life. So it's really important to make sure that you have insurance and that it's the correct kind of insurance. Once you have all that information, take it into your local county clerk and recorder, and they should be able to give you a motorhome title. Now, again, depending on your state, they may have some other requirements as well, so you're just going to have to go in and ask them what their requirements are. But in my situation, it was a pretty straightforward process. It did take me 2 days because no one knew what the process was, so they had to call in like the head person to do it. But once she was in to do it, it went perfectly smoothly, and it just took a couple hours, and I had a motorhome title. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer them for you. And let me know if you have any other questions as well. I'm kind of basing my videos off of what you guys want to see and what seems to be popular. So definitely let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to make a video about something. I might consider it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.